This is the world of company secretaries. On this channel, you can watch interviews with company secretaries across the world. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon. Ma'am,
Yeah.
can you share a few stories about your journey as a student? I know it's quite some time ago, but if you jog back in the memory lane, it'll be nice for us to know how were your student days as a CS student.
No, but I had to give you more facts also because
Yeah.
I started in 1985. In 85, I cleared my BCom, and I started both CS, and I cleared my oral coaching. And that time it was CC, the correspondence course writing exam. So
Yes,
that you have to
yes.
pass. So I
Yeah.
passed that, but before my exam, I had to take a break because suddenly my marriage was decided, and I wanted to study. My husband also would be husband said that you continue, but unfortunately in the family there was some incident, and I could not give my exam.
Okay.
And then I thought maybe it's not my choice and let it be, let's see how the destiny unfolds. So in during 1986 to 1990 I did nothing. I mean 4 years or 5 years I was at home, got married, had a son, young son, and my father asked me, why are you spoiling your career, do something. So I started my business. I started my distributorship. For 4 years I did a lot of variety of things, like I started tuitions, giving tuitions, art competition, art practicing. Then I started distributorship and I got an award also for Balsara Autopic distribution, highest in Mumbai. So during those 4 years, I did a lot of things, and then I one find it as a shock. My father expired in just 49, at the age of 49. He was my role model. He was my solid, strong support, and that was the time when I decided I should do something. My father always wanted me to be the financially independent, and I thought I'll start my CS again. So in 1990 again I enrolled. So it was not in 86 I started. I took a 4 year break and then I did. So I don't think people say that it is after break you cannot start, or it's for women it is very difficult. So luckily I was fortunate. My in-laws were very cooperative and they supported me for my choice to go for. I wound up my practice. I mean my distributorship, and with 1 year old kid I started. That was that was really little challenging. But when I look back, but that time it just happened because once you focus something, no, and you are determined, things fall in place, everything will fall in place. So my kid was just 3 month old, 6 months old, and I started. And during those days it was very difficult for the family, for the typically Guju families and the societies, that I'm going in the evening for classes between 6 to 9. That time it was a oral coaching class in the evening, no
Correct.
other coaching. And evening coaching class because all professors used to come at the after completing their office assignments and all. So I was going that time. So I realized that it doesn't make any difference at what age you start, how many number of attempts you give. It doesn't make any difference. It is only what is important is your skill, how confidently you start and you demonstrate, and the knowledge which you have. That's the most relevant. So
Ma'am, actually, I'm slightly digressing, but since you brought a very important point, actually, I was thinking to ask later, but now itself, I want to bring this topic because we have many ladies and many women out there with a similar situation which you faced in the early 90s. That is, either they're married or in sometimes they have a kid and they feel that no, no, now I cannot do CS. Now I should not do, I should just be in the family. What is your message to all these people out there, especially the women? They have the interest, but something is stopping them.
I think for a woman, no, it is nothing. I don't want to say that about gender. Woman or men, equal hard work, equal passion, and equal knowledge is required, whether you are a man or woman. But woman, there are more challenges because there are certain tasks which are very normal for the woman or family expect woman to do, and woman also loves. So there is nothing to complain or crib about it. But what I feel as a woman, you have challenges. So first of all, your target should be that you want to be financially independent. That's very much important. Financial independence should be your target, or you should be having goal that I don't want to depend on anything, and then stick to your culture, stick to your discipline, that I want to be in this particular course, whether it will take 1 year, 2 year, doesn't matter. your age, your attempts, doesn't matter. Whether you are a ranker or you are not a ranker, you just pass through, but focus on your studies, because it is not an exam oriented you are studying. It is, you are studying for the lifelong. You will be practicing in that subject or those subjects. So you should do more sincerely and believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, everything will fall equally. Like in my case, my husband was very supportive. He told me whether you have any work or not. When I started my practice, I'm jumping to the different digression again, but I was saying that my husband supported me, and he told me during your uh, initial days also, even if you don't have work, no, start sitting in the office mode between 9 to 5.
Mm.
And that helped me a lot, because that automatically your action, your conduct also gives a serious thoughts to the family, to your friends, that she's seriously working and nobody will bother. So unless you are very much believing in yourself and you put a strict discipline in your work, I think that's very important. Otherwise, people will not get the message across that you are serious about your profession. So think
Yes.
like professional, behave like professional, act like a professional. So your everything, speech, thoughts, and your action should be all professional. Then I don't think anything matters whether a man or woman.
Ma'am, I think what you told is actually very important advice. Like you said, whether work was there or not, initially you used to sit in that office time at office, and that makes not only family but everyone know that you're serious. And the point which everyone should take out of this, like you said, men or women, is that if you're serious and if you showed the world that you're putting in the effort, everything else will definitely come your way at the right time.
Regarding our course, first of all, I also want to give a touch upon our, during that early period, no, there was no other material. It was only CS manual, or the institute what they were giving the material, that was the
Study
only thing.
material.
And during oral coaching, whatever you get and your friends, then you keep studying the same thing, and that's how people used to pass. I just give one anecdote about my completing my CS exam. So when I was a student, there was a excise paper on the excise and custom, which was a very bulky manual, and it was a consecutive. I gave all my attempt in December. I could not give in June because we had a joint family, and in May vacation, my mother-in-law was a teacher, so a lot of family and everybody get together happens in a May month in my house, and I could not take. I could not afford to give exam in June, so all my attempts were in December only, and my paper was there in excise and custom, and that same day at night my son got a very high fever, and he was just 1.5 year old. High
Mm.
fever, and whole night I was taking him on my lap, and I was keeping a small torchlight to keep reading the excise manual, or our institute's manual on the excise. And next day, since morning, I mean, I could not sleep the almost whole night. And I told my family, I don't want to give exam. I think I will not be able to pass. I'm so tired. It was a
Mm.
third paper and two more paper, or one more paper to go. And my family pushed me, whatever it may be, you just go and give an attempt. That was, I'm thankful to my family. They pushed me like anything. And I went. My husband told me that he will take care of my child, and I gave exam, and fortunately I scored 60 marks in that excise and customs, so I'm so fortunate. But I'll tell you what I did, because I was expecting with a small child that there could be a contingency of such, of any
Uh,
sickness or anything. So I prepared very much well in advance. So I used to spend at least 3 months continuously from October after Diwali till December, or before that little bit, for concentrating all four papers. And during our time in the inter, and then the professional, now it is executive and professional. So in the inter and final, in inter there were four papers, so 8 papers. So
yes.
I gave each time only one group only. I could not have the courage to give all 8 papers because of all those contingencies. And I focused only to pass one group. So plan in advance. If you are married, or if you have some difficulty, or elderly parents at home, you don't know what contingency may come tomorrow. So be prepared. Plan your exams material and everything in such a way that even if you could not go through the previous night, still you are capable to give and deliver at least for passing mark. And that's how that was my story as a student. Now
Yeah.
regarding my training, I completed all my exams, inter and final, and then I thought I will do, because I could not do all parallelly with
Correct.
the family around. So I completed my all passed out in exams, and then I started. So one of my friend who was with Sidnem with me, she suggested, she was doing training with Mr. Manoj Deshmukh. Now he is with the Panasonic group heading legal and secretarial. That time he was in practice. So I also wanted to do, and she told that it's wonderful experience working with him. So when she was there, it was a 6 months course. And the day I joined Mr. Manoj Deshmukh, that day only it started for 12 months training. So I don't know. I took it, then also I took it very right spirit that maybe this is good for me. I will have a more hand-on experience. And during training, there was no cell phone, there was no map, no Ola, no Swiggy. And we were working in those days. I started in 94. Yes, 94. It was a WordStar in the computers, and it was a dot metric printer. Even to take the print of one balance sheet, it used to take 20-30 minutes also. And fax was used, no WhatsApp, no other kind of communication. Anything urgent used to come from client as a fax, and we had to report immediately. And ROC was also manual filing, filling the form, filing. But we had luckily peons and everybody with the office. We never went to the ROC and stand in a queue, except on those typical October month when there is a last date, and per person
Yes.
there was only 5 documents they used to take. And believe me, Alok, in those days, ROC used to take three balance sheet copies. We don't know what they are doing with three balance sheets. We was always wondering why they want three. And literally, they were throwing before, yeah, I mean, in front of us. And we thought, what? I don't know what are they going to do with this. And that kind of very demotivating atmosphere
Perfect.
around. And prospectors also we filed. So a lot of good work during my training we did. I was fortunate that we handled public issue of Jain irrigation, Vadilal also there was something going on. Then we handled many things in for Mahindra Group. During my articleship, we used to go to their office, met Mr. Nanda, A.K. Nanda, and he also gave some kind of a motivating
Yes.
advice also. We drafted CLB petition during those days for the charge for change of object clause also you have to go to the company law board. It was not with the ROC.
Correct.
So those are all during my training period. We got a lot of different variety of work, and the drafting of agreement also we learned during our my training. I drafted. I remember still. I'll give you one anecdote there also. One day at 5 o'clock, Manoj Deshmukh sir came and he said, "You have to draft managing director's agreement." And I have never drafted. So I said, sir, any format or anything? He said, no, 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 find out your own. Now that time there was no Google how to find. So I went to a next door chartered accountant office, and he said, there was a deeds and document, one volume was there. I requested, can I take this? And he said, okay, take it. And then I read, and then I started at 5:30. I completed at 8:30. I thought sir wanted today itself. And my sir was in the meeting somewhere. He came back at 8:30 in the office and he saw me. He was surprised. What are you doing here? I said, you told to draft MD agreement. He said, I told you, but not to finish today only. And I finished the same day. I was late, but I was appreciated that you are very dedicated and sincere. And